doing our thing that it's 12-3 with the Kings taking a tower up here. So all we really can just kind of deduce from this is Anivia is not doing so hot, and neither is Nidalee and Lulu. From their Shockwave misses out there actually, and that's a big cooldown that is going to really deter from a lot of team fights coming up here. And so we'll see as everyone is going back down.
Also, Twitch is 6-0.
Yes.
6-0.
Yeah. Which again, like, let's ban out Lavaris. I don't know about banning out Lavaris. Like, I think I would rather have that Twitch banned out. Twitch is much more volatile and hyper carry, and when you pair that up with someone like Orianna, not that I knew that the Jarvan was going to get pulled out there, but with an Orianna and a Zyra, man, that's just so much time for Twitch to sit there and just simply auto attack, get his stacks up there, expunge, and do so much damage.
Another thing I think we missed, KC Kings do have 2 Infernal Drakes at this point. So they were able to pick up another one of those while we were away, which is just going to give them more AD, more AP. It's going to get just worse the longer KU waits this one out.
Is our OBS putting out anything?
Looks good here.
All right, as we're just kind of continually checking up on some different things within there, we see Fire Theft, who hasn't necessarily popped off on Jarvan, 1, 1, and 5, but those 5 assists are just going to be helping out here. And we do see Baron somewhat poked up and started up there. We see everyone's checking because there are 2 pink wards, 2 vision wards within there, making sure that they can't see anything that's going on, and so they're going to be jumping around this back side. Control wards, not vision wards. The control wards. They're always pink wards in my heart, no matter how many times it takes you to hit them and knock them down. So they are literally dancing right there as they bounce back and forth. So I think they're just kind of waiting for the opportune moment. And if they have any vision of KU at all, they'll notice they're going back, and this is the time to actually start it. And they see that they are going to be jumping onto it right away, and they actually burst this down fairly well.
Oh yeah.
No Mountain Drakes, but when you have a 6
Rocket coming in though.
Thank you.
Is gonna hit Mask Link, but Baron still has enough life left to live through it. Spear coming in. KC Kings take that Baron, and they're doing pretty well for themselves right now.
Yeah.
They have to be super happy that they did not lose a single member this at this Baron attempt
this time.
This time.
Yeah, so definitely got to be feeling good about that. They are doing very well. Gosh, what is that? About a 7,000 gold lead for the Kings right now.
You are so brave doing
math.
Like, every time I hear you go, they're about, and I'm like, no, I'm not going to do math. No, thank you.
Every time, like, it pops into my head, I'm like, okay, I'm going to talk about the gold. That's a number that's not super easy to calculate. But now I'm committed. Now I feel like that is literally going to be the only thing in my head until I say it. So I was going for it. Hey, let's be honest. Is anybody else doing the math?
I tried and failed once, and so I'm done. So that's what I'm done with. But while we were talking about math and things like that, because who wants to go back to school for that? Not me. We are seeing the 3rd Infernal Drake being picked up there. That is a huge exponential amount of damage that is amplified by percentage coming in for the Kings, and that means no more Fire Drakes. But at the same time, does it really matter at this point? Probably not. So we're going to see if they're able to actually hold off this this pressure and the sieging that's going on by the Kings. A flash out from Nivea. Nivea's super low, not going to go down.
Last ticks coming in of Ignite is going to... Oh, no! He just decided that...
Hero's entrance.
Wow, is this even the same KU that we were watching earlier?
I'm laughing because I don't know if you guys noticed that, but when Galio jumps on, does the hero's entrance, and then leaves, it looks like he laid an egg because it's the Nivea in there, which we only see a couple fights, but that's what they've done twice, which actually isn't that bad of a plan. Yeah. And Nivea's passive, she goes into an egg. You have to basically kill her again as she's sitting there, and if you don't kill her in time, she is reborn. And so using that hero's entrance from Galio, jumping from far enough away, giving her resistances up the immediate time that he locks on, does that ultimate. I don't know, I think that just looks a little funny. I haven't seen that yet. So he lands and then leaves, and there's a little egg still sitting there.
All right, so Kings are going to continue to siege on this bottom turret.
Good stun.
Oh,
Coming in
man.
there, Suicide flashes out there. Super Mega Death Mark doesn't do anything, but Jinx does flash over. She is able to pick up the kill, gets inside, and now they're going to be chasing through there. Fire Theft has to flash out there, and looks like everyone just gets pushed off this tower. And only Xeno is the one who went down, died without using his ultimate. I don't think it would have really done much. Galio looking to flash and gets the taunt onto Orianna. There's the Lulu ultimate too, with a lot of damage. But wow, on the backside, Captain Jack Sparrow actually takes out takes out two people. Olivia and Jinx both go down. That toxicity doing work. He is 8-0-3 now. There's so much damage coming out from him, and that was amazing. He kind of just snuck off to the side when he saw Galio walking forward. Honestly, really telegraphing the flash coming out there, and was just able to do so much within the command shockwave. Does pull in the Galio. There goes the taunt, and you see Fire Theft getting exhausted. Does not go down to the turret, but there are actually two kills coming out from Elise and Twitch. And Fire Theft going to go back. He has teleport. He's going to style and TP on in here. We know that's what's going to happen, and I don't want to call it too soon. Oh, there. Okay.
Yeah, it's definitely not too soon.
No, it's okay. Yeah, it's not too soon to call it. We are going on to a game, technically a game 3 between these. It is back to the champions again, and I am so excited to be able to see how can KU kind of bounce back and respond to this, because I think both of you mentioned it beforehand. Hey, let's focus on the mid lane. Let's make sure that we are on champions that are comfortable for us, and make sure that we take control of how the lanes are developing and pushing and things like that. And that's exactly what happened.
Yeah, that was absolutely insane. I know that we missed like half of that game, but
did we really though?
I mean, just absolutely crazy. Like I was saying before, though, I think that the Kings drafted just a million times better comp than they had in the previous game against KU. They got the Ivern banned against them, and I feel like that was just almost a mistake when they were playing before. But I think also the Twitch was huge in this game. Yeah. Obviously, 8-0-3. He was just a massive force in this game. Got ahead, and the fact that they banned the Caitlyn, I think that's the first game that we've seen this happen all tournament as well. So they were able to pick up the Twitch, ban the Caitlyn, put them on Jinx. I think that was a really big turning point. You give the bottom lane a winning lane like that, all of a sudden you get a double kill for the top lane and the jungle and the mid lane, like all over, getting kills up there. That's just a recipe for success right from the beginning there.
And Glitter, you mentioned that you kind of felt like KU almost had a game to give. Did they give too much with that game, though? I mean, it wasn't like they kind of put up a fight and came close. They kind of just got rolled over. And what do you think? What do you think about that one game they had to give?
They did not give too much because the Kings gave up a lot in their picks. Okay. That's Jax's Twitch that we've been talking about all day. They've now put it to the test, and they know that they're going to ban that. That was Neswa on his favorite champion, Orianna. That was Fire Theft they've never seen on J4. They should have maybe saved that. I don't know. Really, he got banned out surprisingly quite a bit. I mean, I think that KU's top laner is their strongest player at this point, and they banned out Fire Theft against him, which kind of gave him the confidence knowing that, hey, they're scared. They banned him 2 champions, so we'll see. Kings revealed a lot of their hand, though.
I was about to say, do you think then KU is able to take that hand that was just revealed and actually be able to almost completely swing it back the other way, or do you think it's going to be a really close game coming up here?
I think it's still going to be really close. No matter what, they can't replace their mid laner. Their mid laner still has a small champion pool.
That's true.
And obviously, the Kings have figured out that weakness. They know where to capitalize. They also figured out their own personal weakness, which was having not a wimpy jungler, but an Ivern. They figured out that a spider works better than a tree.
Someone that's not a supporty coming in from
the
jungle role.
Zeno is a very capable support. He doesn't need a secondary, especially with top laner. Well, Nathan doesn't necessarily play so much second support, but
right, that's true.
No, he definitely does not.
He's more like second jungler.
Yeah.
He used to play Maokai a lot, but and then the other point that I want to make out before we bounce on and take like a small little break is you mentioned Jinx being pushed out here, and I'm fine with the Jinx pick in all honesty, but when you pick Jinx and then allow a Twitch to come in, that is just completely surrendering the lane, and so I think you both have really hit the nail on the head with that Twitch. Definitely carried the game and should be looked at for a ban. That's again, if they're listening to this stream, that's our opinion. We're not playing, so you can take it how you want, I guess. But that's our advice: is to ban out Twitch.
Well, I'd be a little bit worried if I was Jax because he has kind of shown his full range of champions, and now with the 5 bans, they can afford to devote bans specifically just to Jax and just to Fire Theft.
Right.
And just ban him out. I mean, ban out his comfort picks. It's going to be harder. They probably don't know that Jax is not a 80k main? 80 carry main?
There you go.
He kind of is at this point. It's been, 4 months now that he's been off the mid lane. But he's still, I mean, that's a lifetime kind of learning of a role. So they could prey on that if they wanted to.
Yep.
Whether you're listening to me or not, KU coach.
All right. Well, that was the second game that we've seen today from KU Esports and the KC Kings. We are going to be right back after this quick break with the grand final of the day, game number 3. This is for all of the marbles and all of the prizes that we've got here today. Stay tuned. We'll be back in just a bit.
This is it. This is my moment. My journey to the stage has finally come. Playing with the pros against the pros. Getting here wasn't easy. It took long days of hard work, dedication, and a passion to keep moving forward. And it's that passion that's driving me to keep going, even if I don't know what lies ahead. But I do know one thing. It all started here.
Good evening and welcome back. Thank you to anybody that is still with us tonight. We've had a heck of a day today already, and we are officially already starting into the last game of the day. Technically game number 3 between KC Kings and KU Esports. They've been playing. They've played a couple times today already. They are 1-1. We are playing for all the prizes, first place, bragging rights tonight, right now. The winners of this match are going to get not only the standard Riot prizing, but they are also going to receive their very own AZO, very bright, very cool looking MGK L80 mechanical keyboards to continue playing.
I think you had to pry one of them out of Glairebay's hands, actually, at that point.
Hey, that's not my problem.
I will literally fight them. They're all smaller than me. I can win.
All right, so we took a little bit too long of a break, apparently, and they're already through the first phase of bans. We've got Zyra, Kennen, and Fiora. Still, the focus is on the top lane support. Right. Nothing on Jax yet. And the same bans coming in from the KC Kings: Caitlyn, Graves, and Lee Sin. And already a couple of interesting picks coming out. The Braum from the KC Kings, as well as Olaf coming out from KU Esports. Would like also to point out that KU Esports did first pick that Orianna, as Kings have been first picking that. Have put a lot of priority on that Orianna as well.
So something I've seen in more of the professional level lately has been pairing Galio with Olaf, because you can kind of get into the back line. I say kind of, you can get to the back line without anyone stopping you, and then you have an automatic in with the hero's entrance. But oftentimes that's paired with a Lulu or a Karma, and then with Janna instead, which I guess that's okay. And actually Galio does get banned out, so we won't see that combination being pulled in together there. But we kind of talked about it before, how we were hoping, and I guess they weren't listening to the stream. They didn't listen to you, Glitter, at all.
How dare they?
How dare they? But Twitch does get through, and it is paired up with that Braum, which if he goes in an ambush and he pops out and they're able to get that stun, again, that's another way they can be able to lock down people and get a lot of that poison and toxic venom onto people within there.
Yeah, that's definitely already going to be a very potent bot lane. Lots of protection and peel for Twitch, as well as the added stuns are always nice when you get a couple of auto attacks going. I
don't know what Scouting KU did.
Yeah. Okay.
Neswa does not play LeBlanc.
No, he does not. I don't know.
I guess they're just banning OP picks, which.
I guess Jace is fine, because Fire Theft a lot of times can do well on Jace, but I would agree.
Dual
Syndra,
ban.
I think, would have been a way better ban.
Yeah, I mean, he's got a pretty straightforward champ select match history. It's Orianna or Syndra right now.
Or Kassadin.
Or Cassiopeia. He hasn't been playing Kassadin too much lately, but definitely Cassiopeia.
I think he got tired of it, because Kassadin has just been good, and he spammed that so much. Yeah, you're right. Here he is. He's able to pick it up, and so we're gonna be able to see how he's able to use that against the Orianna, use that against the Olaf, and even the Varus that got picked up here.
All right, so I think that bot lane is just gonna try to stay safe, stay at a distance. They're just gonna try to stay alive and weather through this Twitch lane. Which, I mean, is that the best call for that bottom lane? Just kind of making sure they stay safe from that Twitch?
I mean, if your plan is to stay safe, then stop going for fights. Like that just seems like that's the problem, is that they pick a lane that kind of needs to stay a little safe, and the next thing you know, they are down, and Jax has two kills on the Twitch. So, I mean, if that's your plan, then stick to it. And the Kled got through, and Kled has been banned every single time I think we've seen KU play, and I think either they took some priority with the Graves there, or they just realized, hey, Fire Theft, you should be confident enough, and Fire Theft even says, I can take on the Kled myself. So pulling out that J4 again.
I feel like he might have a little bit harder of a time with the Kled than he did with the Galio.
Yeah.
But the Kled is going to have a little bit less wave clear, which I know. I mean, Fire Theft has been just basically perma-pushing this entire tournament. I feel he's just been that rock-solid split pusher that is always just there all the time. That might make that a little bit easier for him this game. Might be able to open up those towers even quicker than he has in previous games. Especially last game where he was against that Galio, who was just, clearing waves like crazy.
Well, and Ben, you are an Ori fan. Not really main, I guess, but this is a not mid laner that they're using on this Orianna. How difficult is it to play or to pick up, kind of on the fly?
How to pick up Orianna, I'd say fairly difficult. A lot of times people could say Orianna is really not that bad, but I talked to KU Chenny, and he had said like their goal is to pick up Orianna for their mid laner. So I feel like maybe that's someone that
KU Chenny has it on. Is he?
You're right.
KU Chenny is playing mid. Oh my goodness. What? Wait, so they mixed up a lot there.
Yeah.
So they've moved their mid laner, who rightfully so was not performing very well, to the bot lane, and we have KU Chenny, the ex-top laner, ex-support, now is playing in mid against Nesua. So we'll see how that goes. He did choose to go with an exhaust to try to hold off from when that Cassidy can jump in onto him. So.
Okay.
Interesting.
I mean, KU Chenny is really good. He gets up into Challenger. He stays up there fairly consistently and has for a while now. So he's a good player, but Orianna is definitely one of those champions that you can't just be like, oh, I am high diamond, therefore I can't play Orianna. You can't just do that. So.
Well, he did used to play mid lane, didn't he? Wasn't Orbital in here telling us that they used to play together? I could be wrong.
I don't know.
I'm making that up in my head. Somebody.
Well, by former mid, like years ago, like that was. I remember meeting Chenny 2 years ago or so, and even then he was kind of off and on playing mid, not really that much. And when you leave and don't play a champion like Orianna, where you have to keep track of your ball and keep track of the damage you're gonna be able to put out there, then you're gonna be seeing. I think he'll be fine. I'm not saying he's going to do bad. I'm just saying, like, he went from top to support this tournament, and now is from support to mid. That's a lot of change going on for a team, just within the finals. Like, this is the grand finals, and now they're kind of mixing up how they do things. So he's going from playing support and not looking for CS to, all right, are you warmed up to pick up that CS and take harass from the Cassidy queue and make sure that you know where your wards are, make sure you can keep track of the jungler and communicate from the mid lane. That's just like a whole new mindset.
Well, I think that KU definitely needed to switch something up from the last game. Obviously, they got beaten pretty handily. This is definitely a change.
Yeah.
So we'll see if it pays off for him.
And I'm slightly surprised because Chenny does really well on the solo lanes. Why not just start from the beginning with him in mid? Why not just always bring him into mid? Because he just does seem to do super well when it comes to playing against different champions and different competitions in the mid lane and top lane. So I don't know. Just again, I'm not KU's coach. They are the ones who decided to be able to switch things up. So we'll see how that goes with the Orianna against the Cassidy in the mid lane.
All right, so we are getting loaded up for officially the last game of the League of Legends tournament, KCGameOn number 75. It's been a fantastic tournament. I think the games that we've watched today have all been just really fantastic games, and we've got another just great one queued up here, I think.
It's very calming music.
I know.
I was gonna say,
it's gonna put me to sleep. We've been
feel
on
like
for
we
like
need
12 hours.
I feel like we need something a little bit hypier, but I can switch
It's time
it if
for
you guys want.
Meat cats, or what is it called?
Monster Cat.
Oh.
Get out of here. Alright, so pretty basic starts coming out here from everyone. It looks like everyone's just kind of fanning out. So far we've seen KC Kings really try to dive into places all five together, running together, and it looks like now they are just making sure they're spreading out, playing this goal line defense, all these points, and just making sure they can be able to keep track of where everyone's at.
30 seconds until minions spawn.
Look at the weather. It's been hot here.
It's been pretty warm, yeah, absolutely.
Put on the meat cat. Yes, thank you very much.
All right, the meat cat is officially on.
Oh my goodness.
Wait, does that mean my name is Monster Mitts now?
It is Monster Mitts.
All right.
Monster
I like it. I mean, it's definitely not a downgrade. I'll take
That's
it.
true.
Minions
All right.
have spawned.
So everybody's staying super safe at the start of this game.
Looks like,
KU on the blue side.
and it looks like both are going to be going for the chicken start within here. So Olaf again starting on his side, and I believe both bot lanes are going to try to get down there and just go head to head right away.
Absolutely.
It should not be 98 in Minnesota. That's too much. Good job from KU Kenny. So a lot of times with Orianna, your impulse is to be able to start off with Q, but if you a lot of times start off with the shield, you can start winning a lot of those trades because your auto attacks stack and then do a lot more damage. So I would say good job from KU Chinny, showing that he is not as rusty as I was made out to believe with that mid. And so again, there's kind of poking back and forth. Good damage coming out from LYX on this Varus, and now we're going to see Fire Theft getting pulled back in with that bear trap. And so a lot of damage coming out here just both sides. And again, I'm not as familiar with Kled, and so it looks like he's going to be pulled back in. Oh, bye, Skarl. Goodbye.
He's gone.
He's gone. That's not good. I don't know. Like, I don't think you want to lose Skarl like level 1. That's I don't think that's what you're aiming for with that.
Yeah.
And we see the Kings do get level 2 first, and do go on pretty far force. Wow, like that was a good expunge and auto attack coming in there, and so much damage coming in from Captain Jax. Again, he put in a lot of time onto this Twitch after he found people ready for his Ezreal and his Lucian. So there's Skarl coming back in there. Bad trap on rope is able to pull fire. Oh nope, they break the leash within there. So down in CS though, so we'll see if Fire Theft, like you were mentioning, Meaty Mitts is just pushing this wave up there.
Yeah. Yeah, he's just been a monster pushing machine this whole tournament, and I feel like it's been working for them, at least with what they've been trying to do. Flash coming in from
bot lane.
Kled, but yeah, we're gonna check out trades going in from the bot lane. Olaf actually working his way around. Does not look like he's gonna try to dive Fire Theft though.
Yeah, I think he's picking up the nice rocky rocks up there.
All right, J4 teleporting back is going to use his use that, as well as Piggyman coming back and doing the same thing.
But Olaf is behind, so we're probably going to see Kled do a little bit of a gap closing in here. Charge forward, roll forward, not charge because charge is his ultimate, but he's going to roll forward just like this. Let's see if he can land the bear trap on rope. There's that passive, and he's doing a lot of damage, and here comes the flag and jag, able to knock up the Olaf, and they kind of bounce back and forth there a little bit. Looks like he was trying to make sure he dodged the undertow, and he survives.
Yeah, very effortlessly. I feel that was very good on the part of J4, that he was just able to kind of sidestep that undertow, not take the extra damage, not take the extra slows.
But here's, at least in the backside, stun does land onto Varus. Varus is just trying to get out there while he can, but nope, first blood goes on over to Captain Jackson. A great job of seeing Olaf on the top side and making that play, coming down to the bot, and I don't know, you can't really get any better than that, and I'm not sure why they just weren't more respectful of not knowing where the lease was. Let's make sure we don't get ganked.
So here's a tip: if KU's listening, next game they should ban
next
Twitch.
game. Yeah, exactly.
Oh wait, I forgot. We already are in next game, and they did not ban Twitch.
All right.
But so Twitch has started out 1-0, first blood. So we'll see if Captain Jax can do the same thing that he did last game.
Undertow finds Masslink and he's going to continue trying to do a lot of damage. There goes the repel. Stays up in the air to make sure that Fire Theft has time to get over there and just kind of walk each other out.
Very nice.
Undertow doesn't land, but he's going to pick that up. Nope, he gets stunned, and I think he's just going to back off from there.
Very good play. Buying just enough time for Jarvan to get down there. Is able to get out. without dying. That's always the goal. So now Kled has a little bit of extra time to pick up his farm as Jarvan walks back to lane.
Looking at that mid farm there, Nesua on this Kassadin, 41 CS, the Chenny's Oriana with 30 here, and just doing so much damage or so much farming within here, and when you can be able to do that, and oh, there goes that Cutlass being popped up there, so you can be able to not quite get the stun off there. Good flash coming out from LYX on this Varus. Make sure he does not get completely demolished from the expunge coming out there after a stun. So we'll see Skarl come on back. Hello, buddy.
Now, I don't know how Kled works whatsoever. So, does he decide when the mount comes back? Or does it just automatically come back?
So you can see the 2 health bars that are on there.
Right.
So the larger, more purpley one, that is more so Skarl's health. And that's the health that first gets taken down. And that grows with the health that you get as well, right?
Yeah. Yep.
And once that goes down and depletes, then there's a brief moment of invulnerability where Skarl runs away and Kled kind of jumps off and dismounts. And then when he's in that situation, all of his abilities change from there, and so you can do damage, and we see Elise trying to see if she can be able to get something off in the mid lane, but the more damage that you do like champions and get CS and things like that, you slowly build your meter back up, and that's how you're able to get Skarl back. So you'll see the really good Kleds know how to be able to balance the damage they're about to put out there, and all of a sudden Skarl comes running back there, they get a giant amount of health, and then they all of a sudden now are going to win the fight because of that simple trade they did.
I was kind of liken it to Nar's Rage Bar. Skarl has the same type of thing, but I think it only grows on minion kills.
I think so, yeah.
And damage to champions, not just any auto attack that he throws out. But instead of going Mega Gnar, he just gets to ride Skarl again.
Olaf doing a pretty good job of making sure that he is staying high up on CS, but that's kind of what you have to do with Elise already having ganked and gotten an assist, and that's just kind of what you expect of your jungler, to make sure that, hey, if you're not jumping around and getting a lot of ganks in, I would really appreciate it if you weren't behind in CS, as I oftentimes have to explain to my teammates. Good job, though, from Olaf trying to be able to do that. And I kind of like this Olaf. I really do like this Olaf pick, because if he can chase down this Twitch and make sure Twitch doesn't actually do his rat-a-tat-tat in the middle of a fight, and I think that's going to be great for Olaf to be able to put out that damage and hopefully be able to take out the main damage dealer in Twitch, because they didn't ban it, so they didn't do the easy way to take out the Twitch.
Yeah, they're just gonna deal with it in game a little bit.
They obviously didn't think that it was a threat as much as the rest of us that watched him
Right.
go 10-0 did. But I don't know. I guess if you think you can outplay it,
You're not here to judge.
no, I'm
Just
not here
comment
to
on it.
judge.
Here's charge, and he jumps on there. Olaf with the Ragnarok able to do a lot of damage, but that is why Jarvan is so good, because he chopped him in there. And I don't
That
care
was
if you can't get
clever.
CC'd, you cannot get over that wall, and Olaf just was stuck in there. And they trade 1-for-1 with that kill, and we see Twitch picking out in the mid lane. Nothing happens. If you whisper, they can't tell where they are.
Did
They'll
that
never
negate
know.
the caster curse if you whisper? All right, well, Fire Theft sacrifice of and kill onto Olaf means that the KC Kings are going to be able to secure that first dragon. It is a Mountain Drake. Give them a little bit of extra damage on those structures and objectives. I also did see that the next Drake coming up is going to be an Infernal, so
Ooh, awesome.
we're looking at something a little bit close to what the last game was like. Not quite 3 Infernals in a row to start it off, but definitely Drakes that are going to be contested.
Look at this. There you go. He's learning how to be a tanky support. He tanked up all those minions. So he got 10 minions there. Twitch did, because it was about even farm, and all of a sudden now he's 10 up. So he's doing such a good job, and great communication between both of them to make sure, hey, why don't you go ahead and just be a Braum and tank all this up for me, so that way I can get really far ahead in CS.
Right. He says, "Stand behind me." He means it.
Exactly.
not flash behind me and leave me to die.
Doesn't Braum say something about trusting him or something like that, or I don't
know.
I don't know. He says something about how you can trust Braum and have no fear of Braum's. He says something like that, and then like you said, he flashed behind his AD carry. Like, just kidding. I didn't mean all that. And actually, do you see Nastling coming on the top? See if he can be able to land a stun. Actually, the cocoon goes wide, and
wide guess.
here goes Scarl. But great job of
Still
CC
is-
being able to land up there, so Scarl does not actually protect him as he runs away, and they do pick the kill in the top lane.
Yeah, and that was a flash also burned from Kled. Nothing else burned on the side of the Kings. That was a very solid gank, even though they just completely missed that cocoon. Lots of damage, and they were able to take that out. I'm guessing that Orianna is going to be focused on that Braum, taking out that pink ward. Jax is sneaking up with the Twitch, does a lot of damage, but gets the flash out. Oh, man!
Is the poison going to get him?
So close, but it doesn't look like the poison is going to get him.
Oh,
Olaf
wow. Hello.
being very aggressive at this point is going to just continue his venture into that 1v3, but it's going to scare everybody away. He is going to he is keeping his farm up, and he's doesn't matter if he gets a bunch of kills or not.
Yeah.
He's going to be really scary in just a couple minutes here.
Should also keep our eye on this Varus again, kind of similar with the Caitlyn. Not as impressive as the Caitlyn, but last game that we saw, well, not last game, so I guess the very first game, because last game we saw Kings just kind of rolled on over with this Twitch, but the very first time with the Caitlyn, just kind of quietly sat down in the bot lane and farmed up. And granted, Varus is 0-1-0, but if he can catch up and farm and just kind of come out of nowhere with some poke and with some damage, and maybe able to catch some people out with the Chain of Corruption, then I'm looking to see if they can be able to actually pick off this Twitch. And it doesn't matter if the Twitch is farmed or fed or anything like that. If you get picked up and Olaf runs down your throat, that's kind of just a good way to be able to make sure they win those team fights.
Their mid laner is also down quite a bit in farm, almost a kill, well, yeah, over a kill down in farm, which is worrisome because that is where a lot of your damage is, and we know that Neswa is probably the best 1v1er on their team. So he's a force to be reckoned with, and that's not really being, I mean, she's surviving, but it could be a problem later in the game.
Yeah, Kassadin, not so much anymore, but has always been looked at, super weak laner, and oh man, like, well, just get past laning phase and you'll be okay. And nowadays, I mean, now though, especially in this game, I mean, Kassadin does fine in lane, especially if you're just smart yourself and don't have too much of an ego about you. And so we're seeing that kind of just come to fruition here with Kassadin being up by so much CS, and Orianna just cannot poke out or keep up or farm out. And so we're seeing that Kassadin, who at best you want to make sure you go even in lane, really come out ahead and win this lane. So we'll see how much he can actually pop off when it comes to getting more items, getting a little more tankier, than jumping in and trying to kill out the Orianna or the Varus.
Yeah, absolutely. That Kassadin going with that Rod of Ages build is almost halfway stacked up here. Yeah, he's gonna hit a nice little power spike here in about 5 minutes. So we'll have to see if they can take advantage of that. Yeah, I think right now everybody's just playing very safe. I feel playing very very within their limits right now. Everybody's nobody wants to lose this game.
No,
they've come
they
this
don't
far.
get a fancy keyboard if you lose.
Yeah. So yeah, not seeing anything crazy, nothing super out there right now. Nobody.
DC?
I don't know.
He's just standing there. I don't think he's even autoing. Oh yeah, he is. Okay.
But he was just kind of standing there hanging out.
No.
You mentioned
he's
before,
backing.
you said Infernal
typing
Drake
in
is
all
coming
chat
up here, and there's 20 seconds until that drag comes up. So we see Fire Theft make a Draken push out because he has TP and getting the wave where he wants to be. We saw Jax and Xeno jumping down there and make sure they got vision on everything. So they are definitely making sure they have the moves to get this Infernal Drake.
Yeah, so the Kings definitely have a vision advantage at this point, clearing out the last of the wards right now.
Yeah, timing advantage.
Absolutely, yeah, they are definitely have the inside track on this. But the teleport coming in from the Kled right behind them, I'm guessing we're going to hear that ultimate coming out real quick. He's waiting for the perfect moment.
There it is.
There it is. Everybody's going in. Ultimate coming out from Olaf as well. But we're seeing kind of...
That was probably the most anticlimactic joke.
Yeah,
I'm sorry for hyping that up, everybody.
I was so ready too, and then everybody just ran opposite directions, and nothing happened. All right. Well, but so KC Kings now have traded vision a couple of times. They do have that that pink ward advantage, but stunned up as he just used his ultimate, was not able to get out of any of that CC. Dies right under that turret. That doesn't stop KU, though. They are still trying to push up that mid lane as far as they can. They see that Twitch in the bot lane, and they are going to have to try to do something here. But I mean,
Misa's getting dragon.
Yeah, there's lots of ultimates that are down there, and they're missing their junglers still. They're just going to have to give this dragon up as well as that bottom turret.
Wow.
They just lost a lot in that last minute there. I mean, now they're 4K down,
It's even
3 kills. Yeah, that was a pretty easy one.
It's pretty telling, though, for the Kings, if they were paying attention, that as soon as Olaf was down, they just backed off completely. KU was like, see ya. So, I mean, obviously, without an Olaf, you're much more squishy. I can't think of the words I'm going for, but squishy will work.
Yeah.
So that is a key point. Obviously, you cannot focus an Olaf in a fight. That'd be silly. But if you can get a pick on him, that's an easy push.
You can focus him as long as he is stunned up, Jarvan locked into your tower, basically.
Huge wave up here, and we see Fire Theft be able to try to pick this up. And man, like just like you said just a little bit ago, there's so much a swing of objectives and gold, and all in the side of Kings, really. So we're going to see them again. What they do best is kind of make people run around the map and not be able to keep track of what's going on, and your head keeps spinning, you can't do anything, and the next thing you know, you're losing an inhibitor, or you're losing, Baron or something like that. So we're going to see, are they trying to make a move around the Herald?
I think they are. There's lots of pings coming out around there by both teams. Tons of vision in there by KU, though, so it's going to be really hard to get in and around that Rift Herald without it being contested.
Yeah, I think the Kings might finally give that one up and not bother, but we'll see. I don't think that they're aware of how much vision they have around there, so they're going to go check it out, but I think that they won't get it in time to be able to get it. And last game, honestly, they wasted it, so I think they don't understand how many times they use it poorly.
Yeah, it looks like both teams are probably going to give up this this Rift Herald. It is going to be despawning soon. Everybody's going to just decide that it's not worth it.
Oh, Ragnarok coming out because Elisa's found out. She goes into repel. She jumps up. What comes up must come down, as they always say in the casting, and has to use flash to get over. So great job from Olaf, but that is a ghost and ultimate used by Olaf, and sure, the flash from release, that's great to get from someone, but I'm not sure if it's completely worth it when your goal is to be able to catch out one of their more damage dealers on the side of KU.
I was going to say, I'm sure that Ghost is coming up. Ghost is going to come up before that flash, but yeah, that was it was quite a bit to throw right at that Elise, but everything should be up for him before the next fight here.
They're gonna drag this out to be the slowest game. We're too old for this.
We are. We have bedtimes.
We have bedtime. But rightfully so, as we've already talked about, the prize pool is pretty dang good,
Yes.
and so both teams respect each other finally, and so are taking the time that they need.
Good job from KU trying to, again, get control of the vision a little bit, see what's going on around the map. And Varus is just kind of pinned against this turret, I feel like, a while. He hasn't really made it out and about. And I'm just really waiting for KU to kind of all lock in their combination of ultimates or their combination of play style in order to finally enforce their macro, because this whole time the Kings are just doing what they feel like. And sure, we can see a fight up here, but I think Fire Theft, yeah, okay, he's one to jump on out of there. And while that fight goes on up there, we see a command shockwave pulling a lot of people within there, but a great job coming in with a cocoon, make sure nothing happens. Xenocide has to flash out of there to make sure he doesn't continually get slowed and taken out by Orianna and Olaf.
So this seems a little bit more reminiscent of the first game between KU and Kings, where Kings were up, I mean, like we were talking about 25 minutes probably. They were up and winning over KU, and then for some reason KU just flipped a switch and Caitlyn started just getting every single kill, and they just started dominating. Is this one of those that we're gonna see something like that happen again, or do the Kings finally have a comp right now that they're gonna be able to play and going into the mid to late game?
Well, here's Charge. We're gonna see if they can be able to come on the backside. Olaf getting right into the back of everyone there. There's Charge. Actually, does find out Captain Jax. Captain Jax flashes with the wall. He's not gonna be able to do damage. And actually, it is using his rat-tat-tat over the wall. And there's Jarvan jumping into the midst of everybody. And now we actually see a huge knockup on the backside, but Captain Jack Sparrows can't do any damage. Fire Theft is caught out, and here comes the Redemption to help save some lives. And there's the Flag and Drag out of that fight. And that was just a great job with the Charge and Olaf coming on the backside. And it was almost like a double whammy. Oh no, there's an Olaf. Oh no, there's someone else. And Nestle does not get caught up by the bear trap, but that doesn't matter. Pigming follows him upside, and Captain Jax is trying to sneak out of there. Oh my goodness, is he going to make it out of here? He's going to try to get. Yes, he does.
Oh, man.
Wow.
Man.
That is sneaky
Little
rat.
stealth option going on there.
All right, so turning it into an extended 1-for-3 in favor of KU Esports. They're going to have definite priority on this middle turret as well as the dragon. And it looks like it is another Mountain Drake, so they're going to equalize that one.
That's good.
With the Kings. Yeah, definitely good for them.
Captain Jax just kind of spotting him out. Good job. He had his ego in check there.
Well, what we were getting into before is that the reason, honestly, that I think the Kings lost in the first game while they were leading 25 minutes in, that is mostly laning phase. Once they got into the 5-man team fight phase, I don't think that they were prepared for how well KU is at, this is our front line, you cannot touch our carries, and they can just shoot you from the back. Varus has a much shorter attack range than a Caitlyn, so that's not going to be as easy in this round as it was before to keep her, to keep him protected. And this Orianna is also not as proficient in creating damage as the Lux was, or catching people as the Lux was. I don't know where he just ulted
bot
to.
lane.
On the bottom lane, just
The Charge
completely
is in the
missed
bot lane.
Jax.
He's trying to catch out Twitch, but Twitch just kind of runs away from everything there. So there is a ping coming out on the side of KC Kings, the question mark ping. So I'm feeling that means what? What just happened here?
Oh, man.
Charge, though, I don't think it has an incredibly long cooldown, so as long as they can kind of just clear out these waves here and make sure that nothing happens, he'll be able to have that back up for the next major team fight. But there is the bear trap on the rope. Looks like you might be able to yank him back a little bit there. Fire Theft turns around, doesn't quite land any damage back, and Piggy Mean trying to be able to take control and just shove Fire Theft around. And there's some more damage coming back out there. Fire Theft really wants to fight this, and they're going to keep charging forward. There is the Cataclysm. Neswa says, hello, I'm coming in for this party. Hello, Scarl. Goodbye, Scarl. And then everyone does go down from there. So just a great job from Fire Theft, just not being afraid and saying, you want to fight? Well, I have backup, so I'm going to win this. And just a great job all around of making sure that they CC, they did the damage, and they took the kill on the Kled.
Well, and the Kled started to fight him in his own minions. I know, like, at this point, minions aren't going to do a super lot of damage, but they're going to do enough.
Yeah.
Like, why would you even start that fight in the first place into his minions?
Because you're Kled, and the only direction you know is forward, I guess.
Forward. I'm going to ult down here, and I'm sticking with it. I guess once you do ult to bot lane by yourself, you have to make it like it was a plan the whole time.
Yeah, I meant to do that.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Good damage coming out from Orianna onto Fire Theft from there, and I see them trying to make sure they do push this, and we see a TP coming in from Kled. He does have that charge back up there, so we'll see if he accidentally uses it again, or what happens there.
Got some pings around Baron from KU. I don't know if I believe they're just yelling for wards. I don't think they want to play.
Same place he was caught out last time, in the same flash he had to use last time.
No.
Captain Jax looking on this other side, gets pushed off a little by the Orianna ball, and I think they're just going to try to pick up this pink ward.
Now they did leave Varus alone enough that he has caught up in CS. So
Command Shockwave only hits one person. Captain Jack's fair off the side, flashes the Command Dissonance, and is just trying to do as much damage as he can, but Janna is able to use her ultimate and heal back up a lot of that. And just kind of, honestly, a bungled engage from both sides. We have the Shockwave only hitting one person, and you actually hear his charge. Flash forward, a lot of damage coming out of their charge, going really deep in there. Janna is trying to make it out alive, and we see LYX doing a lot of damage, but he actually is taken out by Neswa on that Cassidy, and now they're just trapped again underneath the tower. You'd think they learned, but there's a double kill coming on to Cassidy, and they're just getting completely wiped out from here. A double kill onto the Kled. Kled gets Scarl back, and he's going to do a lot of damage, and Jarvan is going to be backing out a little bit there, so that was a 4 for 4.
Wow.
How often do you get to say that?
Wow. That was crazy. That was a fantastic engage by Kled there. Just almost instantly, everybody was just super low under their own tower.
these two.
Very quickly, they were all just very low under their own tower. But the teleport in from Jarvan coming back in, he was just he was in there and he knew what he was doing.
Yeah.
Did not take just about any damage in that whole fight, and just really helped clean that up for the Kings. Made it even versus them getting aced.
Well, and I think got him ahead because he is able to knock down that turret, and now they're further ahead in gold than they were a little bit before. They've kind of evened out all the vision and objectives they can be able to have, and got it back in the advantage of KC Kings. Ghost from Olaf.
All right.
Yeah.
Well, he knows that.
He wants to get places fast. Okay.
Gotta go fast.
Very anxious.
So the Baron is up. We're 28.5 minutes in. Dragon
Backside,
is
Captain Jack's gonna
spawning.
get this.
Dragon is spawning again in 50 seconds. Are we gonna see another team fight? They're gonna trade objectives.
Well, I'm gonna say yes on the team fight. They've kind of been doing that this whole game, so
right.
I'm gonna
Let's
say
hope.
yes. And if I'm wrong, then I guess I'll just be wrong in a really sad way.
If the Kings are smart, they will avoid that. They need to get a pick first and then play. But
Yeah, because that's what their comp is really centered around. All of a sudden, here's Cassid, and all of a sudden, here's Jarvan, all of a sudden, here's Twitch, being able to do all the picks that they want.
I think one of the big things as of right now, the Kings have been losing these engages.
and Ring around
very
the
nice,
rosy.
yeah.
They've been losing the engages that Twitch has kind of been pushed out and hasn't had quite the right positioning. One of those first fights where he was kind of on the wrong side of the wall,
Right.
couldn't quite reach. He was able to reach a little bit, but not quite as much as he should have been able to do. So I think one of the big things that Kings need to focus on is that positioning of the Twitch, the positioning of the Cassidy, to make sure that they're there, ready to deal as much damage as they can. Otherwise, the thing that the KU has going for them right now is they have the ability of, they have the extra speed. Janna, not only just to mention Olaf and Kled by themselves are just fast champions, speed up from the Orianna. Even if Twitch and Cassidy have that perfect positioning, KU is able to reposition really quickly. So
just telling each other that they love the jungle and
Yeah.
little love taps back and forth.
Hey, you.
Hey, good to see you in the jungle. Great job from KU. We saw some pings just a few seconds ago from both teams realizing that there's going to be a lot of pressure onto this mid turret. And KU kind of getting there a little bit earlier, and if nothing else, at least showing that if there was a fight that was about to happen, that they were going to win it because they had the number advantage and able to take out that turret. And not evened up the gold, but I mean they're taking that freestanding gold that's on the map little by little.
Looks like there was some miscommunication on the King side as well. They just question mark pinged Neswa while he was getting the red buff. And was not in the mid lane with the team.
Whoops.
So I'm not sure what the plan was, but it didn't go well.
Oh, the shockwave does not happen on that, so that just breaks my heart a little bit there. But that was a lot of damage coming from Captain Jackson. He just completely found out Varus.
Here's the pick they need.
There's that pick that we were talking about, and he is just stuck within that Cataclysm, just can't do anything. And there's the Zonia's Hourglass coming out from Neswa on Cassidy. It looks like they come on the backside. Here comes that Kled coming on the back. Scarl is lost already. He has to flash over the wall.
Man.
And they're just completely getting routed right here in this little gap. And what turned into one pick on one person ended up losing to, almost losing Kled, and possibly losing Baron. KU Cheney getting face to face with death there and barely survives. And I think that's definitely Baron then, with Neswa trying to make sure that he can just do some damage and scare people away. And red team has slain Baron and Nashor.
Yep, that was perfect. That's all that they need to keep doing is they've got to get a pick, and then they can win a team fight.
All right.
Especially if it's a loft, that's helpful.
Yeah, right. That is 3 dragons and a Baron now for the KC Kings. 32 minutes in as they are trying to split push, and get all of these lanes going in the direction they want. They want to get the rest of these towers down. I feel like this is the most towers that they've had still up on the enemy team at this late in the game. Usually, by this point, Fire Theft is taking down inhibitors. He's split pushing every lane. So they're probably going to use this Baron, and they're going to definitely try to get some of these extra towers.
He's 5-1-4, man. What more do you want? And again, this is what we've talked about with KC Kings. They just kind of just run people around, and the shockwave does pull 2 in there. Huge charge, and Ragnarok coming on the back side, and they just continue to dive the back line. There it goes, Elise on the backside. Oh, good flash ultimate coming from Varus. Varus though gets immediately just blown up by Cassidy. Even through all the exhaust that's going on, he's just doing work on the backside. There's double kill coming in there. He gets rooted up. He's going to keep chasing onto the Orianna. Triple kill, quadra kill, and no, scumbag Braum takes the pentakill.
That was
Zeno every time.
Zeno every time.
That was a beautiful flash flag and drag from Fire Theft. So he could have just regular flag and drag, got one of them in there, but he flashed first, was barely able to get Orianna in just the tip of that flag and drag to be able to knock both the champs up.
Yeah.
That was just
gonna end.
Just super fantastic.
I think they have some of the time to be able to do this. Captain Jax is doing work on the turrets there, and they all are just completely crashing onto this. That Lichbane from Cassidy is able to take it out too, and here we go. We see KC Kings. They win it. They come and get the keyboards. So we're gonna see what happens. I don't know, just in future tournaments, just because now that KC Kings has won, I mean, KU needs. I think they're gonna have to come back. They have to make sure they can kind of regain their throne, because they had always just done so well in these tournaments, and KC Kings living up to their name and finally being the Kings. I know that was an easy little low-hanging fruit for their name.
Been waiting on that
but
one, guys.
I'll admit
12
I was
hours.
12 hours. No, I was
Thinking
wrong.
that one
I
up.
thought KU was gonna win. I thought that was how that was going to go down. And post-game interview.
Sure, get up here, Kings.
Yeah.
I will get them if I can.
At least get Captain Jax.
Okay.
He did
You guys
really
keep
good.
talking.
Yeah,
I'll go try and
absolutely.
retrieve.
All right.
That Twitch was just explosive. And
Yes.
the fact that they didn't ban that is just still a little bit mind-blowing to me.
Right. And I think that last game, like, Cassidy just did so well. Again, everything just, I don't know, almost being one-sided, I felt like, when it came to the Kings. You know, Cassidy did really well against Cheney in mid. We had Jarvan do extremely well into Kled, and I mean, he started to kind of lose grip a little bit there, but then the rest of his team really helped carry the load on that one. But I would agree. They just executed the pick comp that they had set out very well. Captain Jax would go invisible and then all of a sudden be right next up to someone, and all of a sudden there's also a Cassidy or there's also someone else, and then they're down. They just couldn't keep track of everyone when they can just jump out, appear out of nowhere.
Yeah, I think that was a big thing, that the Twitch and the Cassidy really just making things go crazy. So we also saw that the mid lane and the support for KU switch it up.
Right.
Orianna ended 2-2-5. Janna ended 0-3-7. Do we think that was worth it at this point?
I mean, I think part of it goes back to what kind of Megan had said, that they didn't scout. Like, they banned out LeBlanc. Like, why do that? Like, I mean, I guess in hindsight, Caston would have been a better ban, but I mean, I just don't think that. I don't know. I almost feel like they didn't take it as seriously, to be honest.
Maybe not. I mean, they always have the excuse that this wasn't our A team, you know?
Right.
This wasn't our real team.
Sure.
But yeah, no scouting was done, or it was done poorly. But they've got a coach, so there's really no excuse for it not to be done. And this is the third game you've played these guys.
Yeah.
You know, at this point, you should know. And this is also not they faced each other definitely at the Nova Star tournament, and I think once before. So this is not your first rodeo to ban LeBlanc.
Yeah. And
I mean, there's nothing you can do if your mid laner's gone or wherever he is, wherever their sub. I don't know.
that's true, but at the same time, I feel like either, I don't know. I think switching up at last minute, like, I think that showed a little bit there. KU Cheney got down a little bit by CS, and
Yeah.
probably shouldn't have lost that much of CS, you know. So I think that switching up, I don't think it lost in the game, but I don't think it did quite as well as it could have on that one.
All right. Well, we have all of the kings.
Oh my goodness,
here.
there's way too many.
They're squishing in
This
on the
is-
cameras.
Very much too many of them.
Wave
All
to the
right.
camera,
Okay.
guys. Yeah, give it
I
an
know,
awkward
right?
wave.
Okay.
All right.
What am I talking? Okay.
Give it to actually give it to Jax. Nessa already had the microphone before. Jax. So okay, first of all, guys, congratulations. Have you seen the fancy keyboards so far? Because they are fancy. Do you see that one out there right there?
Oh, is that
Yeah, really pretty. I think someone's gonna have to kill Glitter Bay for one of them because she wants to have that really bad. But all right, so one of the first questions I want to ask, though, is, so that Twitch, you guys finally pull out the Twitch. We know you've been practicing that. Why do you think they didn't ban it against you guys?
Well, in the second game of finals, they ran Olaf, Kled, Orianna, which is like, all they wanted to do was run us down. They didn't really
Right.
care about the Twitch, because all they're going to do is just Kledl and kill Twitch. Like, as soon as the Twitch pops out, the idea was they get on him immediately and he just gets shut down, like, right off
They
the
didn't
bat.
execute that very well. I feel like I can see, and it happened, I think, one time around your red buff. Olaf did a really good job, and Kled, they kind of did almost like a double whammy and coming behind and made you flash over the wall, and then you were just out of the fight, and
Right.
that was a good fight from their perspective. But I think beyond that, they just kind of let themselves get run around by everybody, and just especially the Cassidy, the Twitch being able to pop out of nowhere and be able to just completely take them out was a fantastic job, honestly, about like picking up that team comp, because that's not usually team comp you guys usually run, is it? Like the pick comp?
Yeah, in competitive, yeah.
For those of you that can't hear on the stream, Xenocide says it's the first time they've run that in competitive, so very good job, guys. So okay, so you guys win this game. How confident are you guys playing against KU because in the future? Because Glitter was saying as well that technically they can say like, "Oh, this wasn't our A team," but you guys still beat them. Like, you guys still beat them.
They switched up their mid, though.
They
That's
did
true.
switch up their mid, but I mean, it wasn't their A team, so that's kind of yet to be seen how we would match
It's
up.
true.
I think it potentially could go a little bit differently than it did. I mean, even in that last game, they only had one of their main roster players on their main role, and that was think 3695 XY their jungler.
Yeah.
So
I think main roster would be a really good set of games, and we're a lot better than we were even like half a week ago. Even like yesterday, we're a lot better. But I think that we don't quite match up because the individual skill doesn't quite pair up, and they've been playing with a coach and an analyst for a lot longer than the 3.5 weeks that we've been playing.
Yeah. So Fire Theft, real quick question for you. You were actually pulling some bans within there. How do you feel that they have that much respect for you and you could still show up on that Jarvan?
I was a little surprised because in our first game that we lost to them, I was slipping up on the Fiora pick, but on our way through the losers bracket, I guess I was doing work on those two, and you usually want to get yourself a good top lane matchup. So because if you're trying to play the other side of the map and your top laner is getting run over, it just creates a very weird, like, topsy-turvy, where do I go? And so by banning those, it puts me on a champion that I can't be always as consistent on, maybe not abuse them. But I was pretty happy with the way the picks turned out.
I mean, you guys won everything, so I hope you're happy with how everything.
It was awful. I hate winning.
All right, so you guys had quite a road coming into the tournament because you've played KU and then lost, got sent to the losers bracket, and then faced a few okay teams, but you guys played Tempest again and beat them, and I would have to say you beat them fairly handily. I know that when it comes to League KC, which is again outside of KCGameOn, do you guys feel like that you have somewhat reclaimed your dignity and the throne when it comes to being kind of the top League KC team?
I mean, to a point, like, you could say that us beating KU when they lost to KU is a sign that, like, we're the better team or whatever, but we played a best of 1 against them and we won, and the best of 3 we lost, so
right.
We're just gonna have to wait and see what happens in week 5 of the league when we play them again.
I was not expecting the humility because you guys in your game were okay, there we go. Nessa was speaking it like it is within there. If you guys go back and listen to the stream, you'll hear some comments on ego by certain people, and
there's a lot of ego on
yeah.
this team. We just don't show it over the internet.
Yep.
So I actually have a quick question here before we kind of wrap things up too. It's actually for Zeno. Being another support main, I'd like to speak to the support. One, thank you for your beautiful performances today. They really touched me on a
thank you
on a very great level.
I had you in mind when I made all my picks.
Thank you, I appreciate it. So one question I did see at the very end of the game there that you did steal that pentakill from Neswa.
That's true.
How did that feel? And when are you gonna do it again? So we can see that. 'Cause it was really nice.
Well, see, we have a rule on the Kings that egos are not allowed to get out of check, and if he got a pentakill, he would not shut up for the rest of the night. So
okay. It was for the greater good.
Yeah, it was for the greater good for sure.
Great, thank you.
Shut me down like that. Xenocide's also carrying on a League KC legacy. Classic Team KC, Shivam, formerly known as Kid Jaws, never would let Matt get a penta. It was
Not allowed.
His mission to deny him. Yep.
Maslick, we haven't talked to you at all so far yet. Everyone else has given their voice. So coming on in here, being a K-Stater, being KU, how does that feel for you?
It feels pretty good because when I played for K-State, we actually played KU's A team in a tournament one time and got absolutely dumpstered by them. And they won in like 13 minutes, so it was like the worst game of my life. And so it feels kind of good, at least beating like one of the players that was on that
right.
team.
And then how do you feel about, because a lot of the other teams that we saw played against you guys respected the release and banned that out immediately, and they left that up twice. How do you feel about them just kind of, I mean, on the one hand, they give Fire Theft all kinds of bans and respect, and then you was almost disrespectful when it comes to at least.
Yeah, I mean, I think especially if you look at like my OPGG or something like that, it doesn't look like I jungle because I haven't jungled for very long. Like I've only been jungling for like 2.5 weeks, so it's been like a learning curve adapting to it. But I definitely think Elise is like one of my stronger picks, and I wasn't so much, I didn't feel disrespected. I was just happy that they let me play it because it's like, it's just a really, I think it's a really good pick right now in the meta, and I'm really comfortable on it. So I definitely just am glad that they let me take it twice.
Do you have any questions? No questions at all. Oh my goodness.
I've actually got one more if you're finished for you, Masklink. So Ben was saying that he was talking to you earlier about jungle picks, and he said that you said that Zach was one of those, literally top tier, top pick in the jungle. I don't think either of those last 2 games that Zach was banned or picked. Nobody touched him. So if you were saying that he's one of the top picks, why didn't we see him?
I think, for me personally, the reason we didn't see him is because since I've only been jungling for 2.5 weeks, Zach's been OP for 2.5 weeks, so he's perma-banned and ranked, so I don't really have an opportunity to practice him very much. And we as a team haven't played with Zach very much, so I don't think it would have been like a good idea to just whip it out game 3. Like, even though it's like, I think it's a strong pick. And then also, Zach has a really strong like early gank potential, but I think his gank potential is almost equivalent to Elise in the early game. Like, I think both of them have a ton of potential to control the early game, which is what was really important with our comp. Like, I needed to be able to make sure that the Olaf wasn't able to like get a bunch of ganks off, and then same thing, I don't remember what they played the first game, but same thing with like being able to control, Nidalee. Both of those are like strong early game junglers. So if I play Zach, it's also really easy for me to get invaded, because Zach does not do well in a 1v1, whereas Elise is really strong in a 1v1. So if you saw like the first game, the Nidalee invaded me level 4. If I'm Zach there, I probably like at least get passive popped, and then if I'm Elise, I can like actually fight and then stall long enough for my team to get there. So that's why I think, that's why I think Elise is.
All right.
Real quick, another question, kind of to the whole team, but more so directed at Ness. How do you guys feel about that Anivia pickup when they locked that in?
When they picked Anivia, at that point, I just figured he was playing to survive.
Okay.
And I don't know. A lot of mid laners do that against me, and I don't know. It's kind of annoying, but yeah, it doesn't really work out for them. Obviously, it didn't work out that game, and that's why they switched roles after that and had Chinny go mid. And I was able to pop off still, so you can't stop me.
Fair enough.
But he doesn't have an ego.
I don't.
No ego.
No ego though.
All right. Well, thank you guys. Congratulations once again to the champions of the League of Legends tournament, KCGameOn number 75, the KC Kings. Let's hear it in chat for these guys. One more round of applause, everybody.
Two-time champions.
Two-time champions. All right, all
this time you
right.
get a keyboard. The other times didn't count.
Keyboards, all right. Feel free to
that's it, just the one.
Split these 2 keyboards however you guys see fit. No, there's a couple more downstairs. I think they wanted to keep them on display, but they are free. Everybody gets them.
Awesome.
All right.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
Absolutely.
Thank you.
Thanks, guys. And that is going to do it for us. Again, my name is Devin Meaty Mitts. Thank you to my co-casters today, to Spirit Bear, Glitter Bay, everybody else that was a part of this stream, this tournament, and this event today. Thank you again to KCGameOn, every single one of the sponsors, all of these guys up here, all of them down there. Thank you again to Ben Burns for the music today. Again, links down in the description here. And another big thank you to Azio for all of those keyboards that they just gave to those KC Kings. Congratulations one more time. But again, for us, that's going to be it for us. We are going to head home, get some sleep. Thank you for watching. Thank you for sticking with us tonight. Have a good night.
This is it. This is my moment. My journey to the stage has finally come. Playing with the pros against the pros. Getting here wasn't easy. It took long days of hard work, dedication, and a passion to keep moving forward. And it's that passion that's driving me to keep going, even if I don't know what lies ahead. But I do know one thing. It all started here.